Hello. As you can see, we the guys from industry are the bad boys, asking usually tough questions, but anyway, thank you for the invitation. I'd love to present you some issues regarding the future of energy. We are a leading energy group. 1 year ago, our name, and for the last 65 years, was HELLENiQ Petroleum. It was a pure petroleum industry. We have shifted towards an energy group, and what is really crucial for us is to have a lower carbon footprint. In fact, we are dealing with everything in the energy and mobility sector. As you can see, this is refining, supply and trading, petrochemicals, petrol stations, renewable energy, power and gas, research, upstream. We have more than 60 affiliate companies dealing with, from engineering services up to marine transportation and, of course, petrol stations. This corresponds to 15 billion per year. In fact, the last years we are shifted towards low carbon energy company, investing heavily in renewable energy, in battery energy storage, in hydrogen, in green hydrogen, examining investments in carbon capturing, and of course running our standard business, which is refining, exploration in hydrocarbons, and of course petrochemicals. In all these things, we are trying to survive due to very strict regulations we are facing, and also we are trying to create a new reality and the future of the world in energy. And when I'm saying we are trying to create the future and be part of the future, is not because we are afraid to be extinct like dinosaurs, is because we want to be pioneers in new issues. And for this, for example, we are converting many of our petrol stations into hubs for charging electric vehicles. We are investing and contributing to the huge consumption of electricity we have, which is more than 1 terawatt-hour per year, with renewable electricity produced from our photovoltaic parks, from our wind farms, and hopefully in a few years from our offshore wind farms. And we are also heavily investing in research, both research and development, having numerous projects with academia, with other partners in European Union or in the country, in Greece. And let's say more than 15 Horizon projects, many LIFE projects, many projects that we are funding them by ourselves, trying to see what's going on in the future of fuels, of mobility, of whatever. We are facing a lot of challenges. One of them is the standard regulating framework. There is a lot of uncertainty. I can assure you for this because a few years ago we had the RED directive, it's a Renewable Energy Directive, it was RED 1. A few years ago it changed into RED 2. And a few months ago we had RED 2.1, which means that it's an unstable environment which causes a lot of uncertainty, and especially for investors that invest hundreds of millions of euros, this is not the best thing. The reason we are dealing a lot with academia and with research institutes is because we want to find solutions for the future, but we don't find mature technology. There are a lot of good ideas, especially in advanced fuels, in green hydrogen, in carbon capturing, in whatever. We will see some issues we are doing, but technology is in the infancy state in lots of them. Of course, funding and investment risk is something that we take. We are the investors, so this is not the major issue. The major issue is that you don't have good projects. Everything is under pressure. We have to have solutions tomorrow, but unfortunately, we will not have them even in a couple of years from today. I will give you an example later. And of course, raw materials, sustainable raw materials availability is another nightmare. Where we are moving to a huge electrification. We are talking about fleet electrification. We are talking for heavy vehicles, let's say somehow electrification. We need storage to absorb also the renewable energy that is produced and to, let's say, handle the fluctuation of the production of this energy. We are going towards renewable fuels that either their origin is either from biomass or what we call e-fuels. They are based on renewable electricity and, of course, green hydrogen. Hydrogen is an energy carrier, it's not a fuel. So if you want to contribute in all this, we need one thing, green electricity. And we need huge quantities of green electricity for this. I have an example later. I will tell you that in our refinery, in LFC is one of our refineries, we are emitting about, to produce hydrogen, about 1.2 million tons of CO2 per year. Well, in fact, if we want to, and this is produced from a steam methane reforming, is the conversion of natural gas, which is methane, is carbon and 4 atoms of hydrogen, to convert them into hydrogen. Well, in fact, this is a gray hydrogen, and a hydrogen that produces 1.2 million tons of CO2 per year. If we want to convert it into green hydrogen, we simply use 1 gigawatt of electrolyzer. And in order to feed this 1 gigawatt of electrolyzer with renewable electricity, you need 3 to 5 times more renewable electricity, depending on if it is wind farm, that is, let's say, a 30% capacity factor wind farm or a 20% photovoltaic. It's 3 to 5 times more. Well, this is a huge game, and if I ask you which is the biggest electrolyzer today in operation in Europe and of course in the world, do you know which is the size of this biggest electrolyzer? 25 megawatts only. And there are some nice plans. I have talked with nice politicians in Brussels saying, but we are planning 100 megawatt electrolyzer. And they'll say, okay, I simply need for one of our refineries 1 gigawatt, which is 1,000 megawatt electrolyzer. And today we have in operation only 25 megawatt, a single unit. You understand? This is not a simple step. It's a huge step towards what we need. All our colleagues in oil and gas industry are now diversifying into low carbon energies. In fact, there are some pioneers like Equinor. Equinor was a Scandinavian oil company that, Statoil, sorry, the Scandinavian, the Norwegian oil company that even changed their name and became Equinor. And they are heavily investing in offshore wind farms, like Ørsted, which is #1 in wind farms today. Donk Energy changed their name. Everyone is changing their name, in fact, because we want to get rid of the black, let's say, related petroleum name. But on the other hand, we are really investing on this. As you can see, renewable electricity, advanced biofuels, e-mobility are the major fields we are now transforming. And that's what we are doing. We are trying to decarbonize our business. As I told you, we are going into green electricity. We are trying to make some optimization to our existing industrial sites, to improve our efficiency, to do some upgrades, to recover whatever we can, and of course, capture emissions. And we are not only looking to capture the CO2 that is produced, we are also looking to utilize it and convert it to some new fuels. But if you want to make it, these are e-fuels from electricity, we need huge quantities of renewable electricity. And believe me, because I participate in this nice affiliated company we have, the HELLENiQ Renewables, as we call it, and we have invested more than €500 million on this the last years, investing on all these nice things I told you. It's very, very difficult to get licenses and to find appropriate investments on this. This is the example I mentioned before, because green hydrogen, this is the total emissions of the LFC's refinery. One of our refineries is 2.1 million tons, and more than half of them are dedicated for the production of hydrogen. Hydrogen is one of our core processes. We need to convert crude oil into, and generally hydrocarbon, into our products, which is diesel, gasoline, kerosene, and so on. So this is a huge problem. As I told you, we are working on a very, let's say, strong and diversified renewable portfolio of almost 4 gigawatts. And we already nominated a license, not a license, even we earned the subsidy for this, for 100 megawatt battery energy storage system. We want to support our renewables. This is in the refinery we have in HELLENiQ. And recently, last week, the regulating authority nominated also other 150 megawatt of storage. I want to go back to our R&D business because this is part also of my job, for example, we have, apart from our Horizon projects, we also have some projects related to the scope of this conference. In our refinery, we had an augmented reality project for the maintenance. We had another project that was leakage prediction that we had with Professor Nikolaidis, and generally we are trying to optimize both operations and maintenance we are doing in our refineries and in our industrial complexes in order to minimize our carbon footprint. So generally speaking, we want to be close to academia. We want to participate in R&D projects. We want from our researchers a lot of effort, and also our colleagues from the universities. We have, let's say, an issue. Most of our researchers and our programs, collaboration projects, are producing only papers, which is disappointing. I participate in various projects. I got rid of hundreds of nice projects published in, journals and so on and in conferences, but what we want is patents. And closing with this, I want to say that industry, HELLENiQ Energy, and generally the industry is very keen on working with academia, and we want to produce nice things. I see them becoming reality.